Damn.
Goddamn.
All right. Here we are. Jive and Honey's.
Famous for nothing.
This is episode motherfucking 4.
Ooh, episode 4. That's where things get good.
Yeah.
Historically speaking,
yeah.
For one franchise.
4th episode, shit starts to happen. Well, it is... I should say, if you have watched the first 3 episodes and you're on your 4th episode and you're enjoying our shenanigans, hit subscribe.
Also, if you just happen upon this and you're starting at episode 4 because some things just started episode 4,
right?
It's also a good time to subscribe. It's also a great time to leave us a like, a comment. Those things really help us in terms of being able to sustain this. But also, if you're going to leave us a comment, if you're going to tell us we suck, maybe tell us why. Don't just tell us we suck.
Critique.
If you're going to leave us 1 star, tell us why.
Yeah.
We realize it hasn't been all 5 stars.
And if you have watched the first 2, you know our mantra. It's like, you can have an opinion. Just don't be a dick about it.
Yeah. But we want to grow. We want to evolve.
Yeah.
We want this to get better. And the only way to do that is maybe to take some of your constructive criticism and we can sort of synthesize that and then put it back out there.
Also, this is interactive. Like, if you have opinions about our opinions or the topics that we've talked about, or if you have an idea for a topic you want us to talk about, we're open to that too.
Absolutely. We'd love to hear those thoughts from you. I think it's super important, and it does kind of help this become something more than just 2 people talking into the abyss.
Yeah. And now that I've seen myself on video, it's like we're usually behind the camera, as directors and producers, and I joined a pool.
This is your new fitness regime?
To hopefully get in shape, but you're a pool guy, right?
100% a pool guy. I am not an ocean guy, not a lake guy. Lake people freak me out.
Lakes are tough.
For sure. They're like afraid to be swingers, so they're lake people. I don't like that.
I grew up a lake person, so it's just like, but as a kid, you have no fear. You just, care
Also,
how dark and murky it is, you just jump
But you
in.
also grew up like huge lakes.
Yeah.
Massive.
Giant Adirondack mountains.
Yeah. Those are lakes where you can't really see what's going on. It's so far away.
The Racket Lake is a mile deep, which in itself is a little creepy.
That's terrifying.
That's terrifying.
Yeah. I mean, like...
Or is it it's a mile deep.
Whoa, that is...
in the deepest thing.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's deep.
Whoa, that's deep.
Yeah. But... So we digress. So you joined a pool, which I commend you on that because I think pools are
great.
Yeah.
My first day going to the pool.
Yeah.
They have a lap pool, like an Olympic-sized lap pool. It's got the lanes. It's got the whole thing. I've never done this before. I've never been on a swim team. Like you said, I grew up in the Great North. It's like we have a hockey teams. Everything is frozen over, so we skate on it. So, doing laps in a pool, and you warned me. You said you're going to be able to do 4. I'm like, fuck you. I'm gonna
Whoa. Yeah, I said you can do 4 because you told me I'm going to ride my bike to the pool every morning.
Yep.
Shoot 50 free throws.
Yeah.
And swim 50 laps.
Oh, wait. I meant the whole summer.
Okay.
Not the one time. Not 50 laps over a summer.
That makes much more sense.
Yeah, it was a nightmare, dude. I gotta say, fuck pools. No, I'm gonna hang in there. But get this. So I get there. I don't have the little goggles. Everyone in the pool is my age or older. And they are like Olympic trials. They are backstroking, all sorts of things, flipping around and swinging back.
That's pro level
like,
shit. You don't want to mess with that.
I'm just like, holy shit! I don't even know what the fuck I'm doing. I don't even know how to do like the paddle and breathe and all that stuff. I don't know. So I jump in. It's 5'6", so the water's up to my chest. It's not too bad. It's like the water's nice. So I start swimming, and I'm thinking of you the whole fucking time. I get 1 lap, 2 laps, 3 laps. The 4th, I'm dying. I am dying.
It's rough.
So I breaststroke the last lap.
There's no shame in that. It's a real stroke.
I'm like, holy hell. I'm like, okay, it's a start. You got to start somewhere.
Day one.
I'm looking around. I'm like, how do I get out of the pool? I don't see any ladder. There's no indication of a ladder. It's a box. And the lip of the pool is above my eye level. Like it's almost to,
so it's 6 feet at least.
Right, it's 6 feet. I'm 6'3". Like if I'm on my tippy toes, I can see the surface of it. I'm like, holy fuck shit. I'm like, all right, I guess this is what you do. You
Jump.
You
just push off and
so I get out. I get up to my chest and my arms start shaking. And I know right away I'm not going to make it out of the pool. It's not happening. So like I'm lifting, and I have to bail. I bail, I jump up, I start to panic. I have a full-on panic attack in the pool. I'm in my lane looking like I'm stuck in this fucking pool. I look over there and there's like a 125-pound 15-year-old lifeguard. And like he's avoiding even making eye contact with me because he knows he's no way he can lift my
this
hands
fat
out.
fuck's gonna take me down with him.
Yeah. He's like, I am not. I'd rather drag his dead corpse out than help him.
Oh, I would have loved to have seen that. Him trying to get your water-soaked body out of the pool.
So like, I don't know what to do. I'm not gonna ask anyone. I'm just like, I meditate for a full minute, and I summon like inner Hulk rage strength, and I hop
all
up there,
the hurt,
everything, and I get high enough to get my ham hock of a leg over the lip, and I roll over on my back,
dude. No one
like a fat turtle.
No one has ever looked good doing that.
Oh, in a swimsuit. Oh God,
wet and pasty.
Yeah. So as I'm getting up, an older woman comes in and she's like half my size. She's putting on a skin cap. And I know it's like they're two women and they're over 65. I'm like, how the hell?
They're not going to be able to.
How the hell are they getting out of the pool? So I ask her, this is my first time here. I've never done this before. How do you get out of the pool? She's got a crabapple puss face. And she just goes, she just like fucking points and says, the ladder. I'm like, oh dear Lord. And through the thing, there's no indication. There's no like poles, there's no handles, there's no thing. You just see 4 tiny little steps in the wall.
Oh, cut into the wall. Gotcha.
Under the water. So fuck pools. No. I'm gonna give it a chance. I haven't gone leisurely.
I've relinquished my membership.
Yeah. I think I was waiting for a tap on the shoulder being like, sir, please stop.
We cannot deal with your.
Oh my God, I'm overheated. Just even thinking about it, the panic, the sheer panic of like, fuck, I'm stuck in the pool.
Well, one place to break out into a sweat is that's good as a pool. Nobody can tell. That's great. That's great. I'm just thinking about your beached ass on the side of the pool.
Oh my God, the rollover, just the big, that slap of the skin against the cement. Oh my God, I didn't care. I don't care. I didn't care if my trunks fell off. I was out. I was free.
I'm not drowning.
Like,
that's what's important. Holy right. Hell. That's pretty good.
It's something. Holy shit. But then thinking I'm going to tell this story. I have to tell this story. Coming in today, I start thinking about the best pool scenes in movies. And of course, being, healthy male.
Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Phoebe Cates. Oh my God, I was in love with her. Phoebe Cates was like it.
Yeah, dude. I mean,
she's so cute.
That time and God.
That. Yeah. And like slow motion, red bikini. Oh my God. You even forget that Judd Reinhold is jerking off
in a pirate costume.
In a pirate costume, the whole scene, which on paper had to be hilarious. It was great in the film too.
So funny.
Just on a little side note. Fast Times at Ridgemont High is a really fucked up movie. It's like, fucking like teenagers sleeping together and abortions and like it's like it is really messed up movie.
Yeah, it's
between Spicoli and Mr. Hand, and there's a lot of messed up shit.
Yeah. It's not all getting pizzas delivered to history class.
Right. Then Wild Things. Denise Richards and Party of Five girl. I'm gonna blank on her. Nev
Campbell.
Nev Campbell. Holy shit!
Nev Campbell. Yeah.
Dark Depths.
And that was Matt Dillon.
Matt Dillon, yeah.
Yeah, Matt
It was-
Dillon.
I mean, back then, those type of... Oh, and Kevin Bacon was the detective.
Yeah.
that was gonna bust
Matt
him.
Dillon was on a streak right then, huh? That was a...
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I got to say, one of the things that influenced my 90s aesthetic in the 90s
Yeah.
was Drugstore Cowboy.
Whoa. Oh, yeah. I mean, thinking about it, as soon as you said it, I'm like, you were the drugstore guy. He's like
Dude.
skinny rat guy walking down the
For
street
sure.
with a cigarette in your mouth.
Yep. But, I mean, before I watched Drugstore Cowboy, my girlfriend at the time was a hairstylist.
Yeah.
I had very, very long hair at the time. We saw Drugstore Cowboy in the theater, and I was like, "Phew, everything changes tonight." She cut my hair short, like, pushed back,
Nice.
greasy. I bought a skinny brown leather jacket
Oh, fuck hell yeah.
and a pack of wife beaters, and I was
Yeah.
like, well,
Done.
this is me now.
Yeah.
Traded my combat boots for a pair of sort of leather Chelsea boots, and
Yeah.
that was it, man. That was
Holy shit.
I rocked that for I think the next 11
I
years.
met you, and that was
10 years
what
later.
you looked like.
Yeah, but man, Matt Dillon had a good time going on in the 90s.
Oh yeah. Swimming pools. There's actually a French film called The Swimming Pool.
The swimming pool, yeah, that was a great film.
Great film. Charlotte Rampling
That's
plays the writer.
Yep.
It's a really good film, art film. It's a murder. It's a thriller.
Not my
Involves
favorite
a-
style of pool because there's a lot of
that's
leaves and algae. Ugh. But whatever. It's
Europeans
French.
are different.
They're
Yeah,
different.
yeah. They're different. But awesome movie. But the girl, Ludwig
Ludivine Sagnier.
Yeah,
Ludivine
there
Sagnier
you
is what
go.
we're going to guess her name is.
Right. It was like her first role. She was a model, and like she's
You can
just
look it up.
naked through the whole
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, yeah.
And it's
She's
just like,
she was great though. She was not just naked but also well.
oh
acted.
yeah, the whole film is very very cool. Check it out.
Yeah.
Swimming pool.
It's a great mood. It's really it's very good.
Then I was thinking, okay, we got to come up with a couple where there isn't naked women lounging around the swimming pool.
I'm sure there's a couple good horror films where people are getting sucked down by something.
Yeah, I got another one, a classic that everyone should watch, The Graduate.
Oh yeah.
There's three shots.
Like
One where
Nichols.
he's in the full scuba gear that was his gift, right?
Yeah,
And he just sinks to the bottom. But then there's a time where he just sinks to the bottom, Indian leg style.
Yeah,
where he's on the bottom
crisscross
of the pool.
applesauce on the bottom of the pool. Yeah.
And then also every time, like when he's floating on the raft and he's just totally dejected and like.
Yep.
The last one I have, it's one of my favorite movies, and the opening is both awesome, disturbing, cool, weird. It's Sexy Beast.
Oh, that is European.
Ray Winstone
In Spain.
in Spain in Speedos, frying. His fat ass is just frying on a side of a pool, and like the pool's involved. There's like the pool boy who plays a big role in the film, and it's just like
First of all, Ray Winstone, who has made some pretty bad films, really watchable.
yeah. He's
I mean,
just
the dude
he's
delivers.
always the best.
Always delivers. I mean, he's like
great.
like him and like a Sean Bean. Like these are guys that
Yeah.
you're like,
yeah.
first of all, men,
yeah.
real men,
yeah.
and they consistently make things better.
Yeah. But I recommend Sexy Beast. The pool opening is amazing. Everything about that movie is
Sexy
is
Beast,
so good.
ironically, Jonathan Glazer's most accessible film. Everything
Right,
else
but-
since then has been much more
Look at
difficult.
it. Well, this leads us to today's topic. We wanted to kind of give you, like, our first few episodes were kind of salacious, kind of like, hot topics.
Right.
Sex
Okay, yeah.
scandals and
Looks
being canceled
and-
and looks versus talent. We had all these things. I think we need to give our audience a base. Do we like walks on the beach? Well, we know you're a pool guy. I'm a beach guy.
Yeah, you're a beach guy. That's it.
But if we're going to talk about films and television and actors and all this stuff, you need a base. You need to kind of know where we're coming from.
It's true. I think that's legit.
We're going to do a couple of these episodes. I don't know if they're going to be staggered or 8 in a row. We haven't decided.
This is like our dating profiles.
It is. It's
I like
our
it.
dating
I like
profiles.
that.
Just
That's a
be
good
like,
idea.
you could swipe left or swipe right.
You can figure out which one of us you like better.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've already made that decision.
Yeah, that's the other thing. In the comments, are you a Jive or are you a Honey? You know
what's funny though?
Team Honey, come on.
We never, until this moment just now, explained which one of us is Jive and which one of us is Honey.
Oh, I thought we might have. Oops.
I don't think we did.
I think you were leaving it open.
Yes.
But you kind of assumed everyone would know and figure it out.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Fair enough.
So I was thinking about Jonathan Glazer, which he has not made a lot of films. They're all so interesting.
He makes them count.
I went on a tear. Like
sure.
I love Sexy Beast so much, and then he came out with Birth,
right?
Which is a really odd flick, and I loved it. But I loved his directing. It's like a Stanley Kubrick. It's a
very much so. Yeah,
it's a style, and it's just like he did a push-in on Nicole Kidman during I think it was an opera performance or a concert or whatever.
Yeah.
And it must have, I don't even know how long it lasted, but it was like 5, 6, maybe 7 minutes long. It was insane. And she runs through the range of emotion with all the shit going on in her life during this performance. And I'm like, I stood up on my couch and like applauded. It was just
that. There's two scenes from that movie that always stuck with me, and they're two very prolonged shots. That being one of them, and the other being the opening shot of the husband jogging. Oh my god!
Yes.
When I think of Jonathan Glazer, that's one of the first things I think of.
Yeah.
I always thought that Jonathan Glazer, as his career was progressing, that the opening of his movies were going to be these incredible single shots.
Oh yeah,
Sexy Beast opens that way, and
Birth,
and Birth opens that way.
Like, you're in for it.
I was like, oh my god, that really just set the table for the whole film, even though they change pretty greatly from there.
So the next one, I started following him. I'm like obsessed with Jonathan Glazer.
Great music video director as well.
Yeah,
like, the stuff he did was really groundbreaking.
Radiohead, Blur, Massive Attack.
Yeah.
Like prolific music video director.
Yeah, really great.
He gets the rights to Under the Skin, and it's a book. I'm like, fuck, I'm reading this book.
Oh, you had heard he'd gotten the rights.
I heard he got the rights, and that's his next project. So I go out, I'm like, oh shit, he's already producing it. I need to get through this book. Book is I love the book, but it's so weird. I'm just like, it's a sci-fi. And the undertone of it all is about being a vegetarian. It was my take, being a vegetarian. But it's about aliens coming to Earth to eat us like cattle.
Consume humans, yeah.
But it goes through the whole process of like what a cow would go through, but with humans. It puts you in a different perspective about eating meat. But anyways, I'm just like, but the aliens are very descriptive, and like they live in human skin, and it's very uncomfortable for them. They hate it. And it's just like, but they assimilate and they find drifters and then eat them. They process them for the mothership to take them. I'm just like, Sexy Beast, Birth, aliens eating people. What the fuck, Jonathan Glazer? What are you doing?
Well, he definitely one-upped himself with his next film.
Then I found Scarlett Johansson's in it. And I'm just like, it has all those elements of the book. But it's like Jaws, where you don't see the shark.
The alien, yeah.
You don't see the alien. You don't see the mothership. It's like, but it's got like all the things about being uncomfortable in the skin and like trying to figure out what it's like to be a human, and also murdering people, and how he did it with the black room, and it was just like, and she would seduce people, and the whole thing was.
And this predated Stranger Things, so there was no upside down thing,
right?
It was a void, and it was void.
It was weird.
Yeah.
It was great, but I have to say I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so. And then he doesn't do anything. I think he goes back to doing music videos. He does a few other things. Like, I'm just waiting. It's like, what is he going to do? I have not seen it yet. But it's like the subject matter is a tough one. Zone of Interest.
It is, first of all, it is, again, difficult.
Yeah, it's difficult. But Academy Award winning international film of the year.
Well, it deserved it. It was fantastic. And the way they did things, the way they recorded the audio alone.
Did you see it?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. I didn't know you saw it. Fuck,
yeah, it's fantastic. It was really one of the best.
And it has the woman from Anatomy of the Fall.
Yeah. Yeah, which was also a great film last year.
Great film too. You should check out. I'm kicking myself that I haven't seen it, but it's basically a Nazi officer trying to make his domestic home right next to one of the concentration camps. It's so well done.
I mean,
I will watch it. I have to. I love his work. I'm pissed that I haven't seen it. I'm excited that you saw it and that you liked it. So I will.
I loved it. I thought it was better than Oppenheimer.
Oh,
I didn't even get through all of Oppenheimer so relentlessly.
If we weren't going to talk about Oppenheimer in a little bit, I'd get into that.
All right, let's put a pin in Oppenheimer.
All right, so our topic today are directors. And I don't know how we want to approach this. If we want to, I'm going to bring up 3 directors.
Okay.
Well, one is a pair. It's the Coen brothers.
God bless the Coen brothers until what year? Until they split up.
Yeah. Then we're going to talk about David Fincher.
Ooh, one of my faves.
David Fincher, beautiful aesthetic. And then a guy that I love and hate, Christopher Nolan of the Batman trilogy. I mean, you can't deny. I mean, he's an amazing filmmaker, but we'll get to it.
All right, one at a time. You take us through.
I think what we want to do is do Mount Rushmore, and it's just like we'll kind of quickly review their filmology, and we've got to pick our favorite. We can talk about our favorites
films
for
of
each
theirs.
one. Yeah.
Okay. Mount Rushmore 4 guys?
No.
3 guys.
Mount Rushmore. Well, I think that I use that not as
no,
your
you're
top
talking
5.
the
I'm just saying
Gotcha. Okay.
your top.
Okay.
I am using that incorrectly.
That's all right.
Yeah, it's all right.
Then you made it top 5, which is even better. 3, 4, 5.
But we won't do top 5. We'll go through the kind of like their films, and let's pick our favorites. So we got the Coen brothers, which is very odd in that because of the union, like one had to be the producer and one had to be the director.
Yeah, DGA rules up until not too long ago.
Yeah.
10 years ago, maybe. Only one person could be the director.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's just, so it's like they both, you don't know who, so there's a writer, they wrote, produced, and directed all this stuff.
And edited quite a bit of their stuff.
Yes. Yeah.
Which I think is hugely beneficial for filmmakers, especially people who make films like the Coen brothers. They would have such a great sort of sense of how they were going to cut scenes that they wouldn't even shoot coverage of certain things. Because they'd be like,
done.
They'd be like,
we don't need it.
We don't need a medium close-up.
Right.
We would never use it.
I'm editing it, and we're not using it.
Or they a lot of times, especially in the early stuff, because their budgets were smaller, actors would be delivering a line. They'd be like, okay, and just stop them in the middle of a line. They'd be like, what? They're like, well, it goes wide there, so we already have it.
Yeah. No, and it's like I'm not an actor, but like that might be a little trying.
Feels like a bit of a jam up.
Yeah, but you have to appreciate it. And once you start looking at their list of films, at a certain point you just trust.
You got to trust.
Yeah, it's like it's borderline genius.
I have to imagine it was tricky on those first few films where they're getting people like real actors, names, people that were recognized to sign up for their lower budget films, take lower rates, and then they're telling them they're not shooting their whole close-up.
Yeah. Right, we're not going to pay you your full rate, and you're not going to get any close-ups.
Yeah.
Well, their first really, and it's great to watch, and you need to watch all these films.
We think
like Blood Simple.
Great
low
film.
budget. You can tell it was thrown together. It's like borderline student film.
I mean, it's a step up from.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very much of the time, and it is a little heavy-handed with some of the like insert shots and stuff. And it's like trying to sort of show you,
Right.
but it's the Coen brothers raw,
It's raw, but still magical.
and it works.
It's
it
still,
all works
you
really
can
great.
see the workings
Yeah.
of what's going to come.
Yeah.
And then they turn it on its head and do Raising Arizona. Nick Cage is one of his
One of his
and Holly
most
Hunter is
hilarious
amazing.
roles. Yeah.
And so like comic book cartoon, like the low angles and like all the framing is so dramatic and so over the top.
And a
it's
road movie, like in the
Yeah.
classic sense, and
Oh,
like
yeah.
really just great.
This is in the running for one of my favorites, Miller's Crossing.
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of the best Coen Brothers movies. Just a really great version of Blood Simple, and it kind of picked up on those things.
They started making that magic. And
Yeah.
it's like the hat rolling in the woods.
Yeah.
And it's like the acting is just amazing.
Albert Finney in drag.
Yeah.
At one point.
Yeah.
It's-
It's just so good. And I saw it in the theater, and I just fell in love.
looks amazing.
It looks
really
amazing.
warm
It's
and
clever.
yeah.
Lead Gabriel Byrne, I got issue with. Walking in New York down a street with my wife, and we're walking. Gabriel Byrne is walking towards us.
Okay.
Gives me a smile and a nod, and I'm like,
Oh, we recognize you.
yeah. Gabriel Byrne recognized. So he's going around here, and I'm just like, I'm tickled to death because in Usual Suspects, it's like,
Man.
so great. I turn around to see Gabriel Byrne walking away. He's checking out my wife's ass. He's looking and he looks up at me and winks. The motherfucker winks at me and gives me his Irish smile and walks away, gives me another nod and walks away. I was just like, motherfucking Gabriel Byrne.
You got caught. Yeah.
Yeah.
You and Gabriel Byrne got beef. That's
Yeah.
cool.
Fucker.
Great. Can't wait to have to fight Gabriel Byrne.
Yeah. I think now I'd be all right. Back then, maybe
No,
not.
no.
Never fight an Irishman. I think it's
Not
goes
at
without
night.
saying.
I think during the day it's easier.
All right, we're gonna run through these a little quicker.
right.
We got Barton Fink, awesome, like crazy good. Hudsucker Proxy.
Hudsucker Proxy, absolutely one of my favorite Coen Brothers movies, just because it's so absurd, it's so beautiful. It's like,
And it's a nod to those movies.
yeah, I think it
Jennifer
captured
Jason Lee's
it captured
cadence.
those like early films, and Paul Newman. Oh man,
Old Blue Eyes.
Yeah, he's
Paul
the
Newman,
best.
man, the best.
he's
for
such a
kids.
good man. I give him a double stitch.
You got to watch all these movies. It's just like then Big Lebowski. It's like
I mean,
cult,
yeah.
cult level Big Lebowski.
That actually I think transcends the Coen Brothers
Yeah,
at a
yeah.
certain point. That's
And with my at the beach where I'm like in shorts and a whatever,
Robe.
I get mistaken for. It's like you look just like the dude. I was like,
you should probably stop wearing a robe to
I
the
know.
beach.
It's the beach, man. Brother, where art thou? Which is
Oh, brother, we're out there. Oh, man, that is like what a cast, huh?
it's good.
What a
And
look.
There's songs, there's things.
Yeah.
It's like Clooney
Yeah.
joins the fold. Intolerable Cruelties. It wasn't well received.
I liked it.
I liked it.
I enjoyed it very much. I don't have a problem.
Clooney again.
Yeah.
Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Yeah.
So good. And then, unfortunately,
Lady Killers. Isn't it?
Lady Killers. Oh, so bad.
Don't watch that.
It is a stinker. It's a full-on stinker. It's
It
not
is
like, there's certain qualities. Tom Hanks shit the bed. There's a Marlon brother in it, and he's horrible.
A Wayans brother.
Wayans brother.
I think it's Marlon Wayans.
Is it Marlon
It
Wayans?
might be.
Oh.
But it stinks. It's
Sorry about that.
I think it's a remake of something.
It's a remake of an old movie, and it did not translate.
And I hate jazz. So
yeah.
it's already
Yeah.
ugh. Yeah, it doesn't deserve any more time.
Yeah.
Don't watch it.
But then they come back strong with No Country for Old Men, which is on my Mount Rushmore.
It's really so great.
It is so good. And Josh Brolin.
Wait, no, they couldn't have come back with that, right? Because Fargo was before then.
Oh, Fargo! I must have missed. It's Hudsucker Proxy, Fargo, Big Lebowski.
Holy shit!
I'm sorry, I forgot their most important movie.
One of the
put them on the map.
One of the most perfect films ever made.
It's a perfect film, and we say this, and we've talked about this so many times. There's no fat on the bone. There's nothing. There's not an edit. There's so many films. It's like it could have been trimmed 15 minutes, or it didn't have to end twice, or this. There is nothing.
So lean. There is nothing that lingers. There's nothing extraneous to that at all. It's perfect film.
All right, No Country for Old Men is high on my list. Yep. Burn After Reading, A Serious Man, True Grit, Inside Llewyn Davis, which I thought I'd hate, and I didn't watch it till late. I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
it's okay. Yeah. Hail Caesar, really kind of odd, and their last movie was Ballad of Buster Scruggs, which was very weird. Yeah.
It was enjoyable. It was a series, or it was
a bunch of vignettes.
Things. That's right.
Yeah.
Again, they were like,
But I think that's when things were falling apart with the.
But they were definitely. I think some of those, like, one did some and one did some of the other one did some. I'm not sure on that though.
Yeah. So what are we going with? We need to pick a winner. And
we're doing a single, just one film.
One film.
Fargo. From the Coen Brothers.
Yeah.
No notes. It's perfect.
It is a perfect film. But if
for me, it's not the most enjoyable film of theirs to watch. Like, it's not the one I return to again and again. Right. I think that would probably be Miller's Crossing.
Yeah. See, it's between Miller's Crossing and No Country for Old Men.
Yeah. I mean,
I saw both in the theater. I'm very nostalgic towards Miller's Crossing. It was kind of like I went to
right place, right time.
We had an art theater in Philadelphia called the Ritz, and it was just when I was first starting to like enjoy the movies at the Ritz, and it's tough. So nostalgic is saying Miller's Crossing, but I think for a film that I'd keep watching is No Country for Old Men.
Okay, all right.
Well, there we go.
There you go.
All right, we're moving on to Mr. David Fincher.
Mr. David Fincher.
Another music video guy. I mean, he's a heavy hitter. Madonna, George Michael, Paul Abdul, Sting. And this is all in like the, 90s. And like they were like the king of music.
And his production company that he formed, Propaganda Films, which was commercials and music videos. The roster of directors was everybody doing amazing music videos at that time. I was Mark Romanek.
Yeah,
Romanek. It was like, Spike Jonze. Michel Gondry.
Yeah.
It was the best.
Yeah, like if you IMDb them,
yeah.
It's like there's Levi's commercials, there's Calvin Klein commercials, there's like all these commercials in with these amazing music videos.
And it was, those guys. That was the class of next filmmakers. That was the next wave.
Because like you have like the Coppola and Scorsese and like
70s
then you
American,
have Lucas and Spielberg
and
it's like for that group it was that group of directors all doing music videos.
Yeah, they were all doing music videos. I mean, Fincher started with commercials. He did the PSA with the baby, the fetus smoking, which people hated loved, or whatever it was. But
it was great.
It gave us David Fincher.
Yeah. But then he was asked to come in and save Alien 3.
Well, he didn't save it.
No, he didn't. He was asked to. He was tasked with. Yeah. They had gone through. They fired their director, and they were like in mid-production.
Yeah, they had built the previous director's sets. The previous director's an Australian guy whose name I don't remember. Not a sci-fi guy. It was a weird pick already.
Right.
He had come up with a pretty crazy idea, like a planet made of wood, and there was monks.
Oh, dear Lord. Yeah, but I like the idea of a prison planet and like
then
Sigourney Weaver getting stuck with a bunch of sex criminals and like
right. And they kept the monk idea, and I guess they had already built some sets, so they kept like that monastic
and
concept.
there's a ragtag team of space, pirates. It's like
But I mean, the reason Alien and Aliens worked were they were horror films.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They were claustrophobic. Right. They were small sets, which first of all I think is a great constraint. Yeah. The sets for Alien 3 were
it was claustrophobic.
Massive.
You don't know where the monster's coming from. Your perils at every corner.
But the problem is that you then end up with a film they already made, just in a bigger space.
Yeah. I really like.
It's people running down hallways being chased by an alien. Yeah. I mean,
they made the aliens smaller and faster, and they made a lot of choices. But I love the relationship with Sigourney Weaver and the doctor.
Oh, great! Yeah.
There's so many things good about it, and he was able to pull the Fincher look. So as bad as it was, I think
it was very it was really tungsten-y, right? As I recall,
it was very sepia.
Sepia.
That's everything right. Was sepia. Yeah.
That was
but
it was an ambitious
choice.
At the
time, and he caught shit for it, but he's just like, fucking dude. I was like handed a pile of shit, and
he was also I think 27 or 28, which by the way means he did all those music videos before he was 28, which is
insane,
crazy. How long before he did the game?
All right,
we got his next film, right?
No. Oh, his first film was 7.
After Alien 3 was 7. So how many years was it?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't.
Oh, okay. Because
my notes.
I have to imagine he was in director jail for a little bit.
Yeah. I think it took a while, but god damn, 7. So good.
So good.
I mean, it's tough to watch, but man, it looked good, and it's like Morgan Freeman was never cooler. It's like Brad fucking Pitt.
What's in the box?
What's in the box? I think we got to say that at least once in every episode.
And I heard, because The Thing is celebrating its anniversary right now.
Oh, The Thing.
The guy who did the practical effects on The Thing.
Right.
He did a bunch of the effects on 7.
Oh,
Fincher brought him a guy who's rarely.
Obesity. It's the 7 deadly sins. Is obesity and
he did gluttony.
God.
He did a couple of them, but like some of the more grotesque stuff he did, and it was fucking awesome.
Yeah. And Kevin Spacey as a villain.
Oh boy, that's a stretch.
Like his serial killer was amazing. He was great.
And 7 was one of the last films for a while. I think there's been some recently. A lot of people throwing up and walking out of.
Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah. It was pretty fucked up.
And don't forget, one of my favorite parts of that film, opening credits. It was 9 Inch Nails' Closer, I believe, was playing.
Oh, yeah.
And it was done by Imaginary Forces. And it was all of the Killers, sorry, no spoiler alert. It was all the Killers' notebooks.
Yeah.
And
scribblings and drawings and all that shit.
Yeah.
Super awesome. We bit off of that.
We stole that.
We stole that
repeatedly for years.
Yeah, for years. Thank you for giving us a career. Then right after that was the game.
That was the game. Oh, so it was a game.
I didn't connect the two when I was watching the game. I thought it was really interesting, but also it was a lot. It was a lot of movie.
Yeah. So when he was editing the game, somebody gave him a copy of Fight Club. I mean, he was wrapping up editing
the book,
and they gave him the book, and they were like, "This should be your next project. You should do it. You should do it." I think the property was owned by one of the studios, and he's like, "Wow, the book was incredible. Like I read it in one night. Like it was great."
Jesus.
And they were like, "Yeah, can you like get a script done in, like, I don't know, 4 weeks?" And he was like, "Probably not." But he managed to put something together enough that then he was able to become the director of Fight Club.
Right, which is iconic now, and it's cult classic. It's you know,
I mean, it's inspired some pretty like, shitty people, but still,
it's the cooler version of I See Dead People. Yeah, it's
great twist.
Great twist. It's like
Yeah.
Helena Bonham Carter was amazing. You know, it's like Brad Pitt was at his peak. after that, he goes back and does like a Nine Inch Nail music video and a George Michael music video.
Oh, yeah.
Like, oh yeah, in my spare time, I'm gonna crank out more amazing music videos. And he comes back with Panic Room, Jodie Foster, and a very young Kristen Stewart. Oh, I love that. I saw it in the theater for some reason, and it was so good. And it had Jared Leto,
and it had Dwight Yoakam.
Dwight Yoakam was great.
Fucking that guy almost stole the movie from Jodie Foster. He was so good.
Yeah,
and Forrest Whitaker.
Forrest Whitaker.
I mean, what a cast!
It was a great cast. It's a box drama. All happens in one house, in one room. Yeah, it was great. It was great. Great. Check it out. Panic Room to Zodiac, Benjamin Button, Social Network, Girl with a Dragon Tattoo, Gone Girl. He jumps to TV and does The Mindhunter, which I just recently watched.
And House of Cards.
Oh, House of Cards.
House of Cards first, then
Oh,
Mindhunter.
right. He did the first few. He didn't do a lot.
He executive produced them and he directed the first 2 episodes.
Yeah. Again, Kevin Spacey coming back. Then he Academy Award winning Mank. And his recent one that has a lot of poo-pooers, The Killer.
The Killer. Yeah.
I enjoyed it. At first, the first, opening scene, it was weird. I didn't know if I was going to like it. And I was just like, what is going on? This is David Fincher? I don't know. And it's just like a lot of things you've seen in a lot of assassin movies. And it's just like, and Fassbinder is so good in everything. I'm just like, I don't know. It stuck with it. I ended up loving it. It was great. It was really good. And spoiler: Tilda Swinton makes an appearance in it.
Gotta love
and
Tilda Swinton. Can't go wrong with her.
Her scene alone makes it the movie worth watching. So good.
She's done that a couple times now.
Yeah, she's amazing. She is amazing.
She's the best.
All right, we gotta pick a favorite David Fincher movie.
For me, I mean, it's between Fight Club and Seven, because I think that what he did with them was so great.
Yeah, it's game changing.
Game changing, and for that fact alone, I think I got to go Seven.
Ooh, all right. It's very interesting. It's like I can watch movies over and over and over again. There's movies I've watched a dozen times,
and I've watched Fight Club over and over again. That is one movie I
haven't. That's the one thing. It's like one that when the cat's out of the bag, but one, it's pretty violent and it's grungy and it's like it's very like it's the breaking down of a human being about and raging against society. Sometimes I'm just not ready to go there. Yeah. I'd rather chase down a serial killer. Seven I've watched multiple times and it still freaks me out. And the scenes are so it's tough.
For me, Seven was so inventive. The art direction was so amazing and kept changing throughout the movie.
And I remember I used to love the Blu-ray DVDs with the extra behind the scenes and like all the back, they did. There's a scene where they're walking out of a crime scene, Morgan Freeman and Brad Pitt, and it's down like a ramp and it's outside and they did it all in one shot and it's a long monologue. And just the making of that and how they accomplished it, I was just like, fuck yeah, man, you got me. So yeah, I'm going to go Seven.
All right. Good.
We're going to go quick. He doesn't have a ton of movies. Is Christopher Nolan, which I'll tell you, I'll run through these and I'll tell you the one that fucking kicked me in the balls that I just can't get over it.
There's one I can't get over.
There's two. He started out doing shorts, and his first film. Well, the thing is, he writes all his work. He and his brother
write together.
Yeah. Except for Inception, he wrote by himself.
And his wife is his producer.
Yes. Yeah. We saw her at the Academy Awards. Yeah. Very cool. Memento. First film out of the box.
First film.
Did a couple shorts.
I remember seeing it in the theater. It was great.
It's a reverse, like a memory loss reversed movie that just fucked with your brain, and it was so good.
It's great.
It was great.
It's great.
Insomnia, which is very odd. It's Al Pacino.
Al Pacino in Alaska.
Yeah. But it was good. Batman Begins. He kind of like rewrote not only Batman, but the superhero movies and kind of changed them. I didn't know this, but between Batman Begins, he did The Prestige, the magician movie.
Right, which is funny because he was like sort of side filming stuff with The Prestige.
Yeah.
And so I always, before I saw The Prestige, I was always like, oh, it's going to be sort of the smaller thing.
Right.
It's a massive film. Like, it's a full film.
Yeah, that he did in between the Batman movies.
Crazy.
Then
But enjoyable, The Prestige.
Right. Then he had one that he did the best superhero movie ever in Dark Knight. R.I.P. Heath Ledger.
Yeah.
A fucking Academy Award winner for The Joker. It was fucking amazing.
Yeah,
that was so good.
it is quite possibly the best superhero.
But in the meantime,
film ever made.
He's doing Inception.
Crazy. What a crazy level to be working
and
at.
like, I remember Inception in the movie theater, and it was like a light bulb switched off, and I was getting it. I was understanding the 3 levels, and I was seeing the action, and I was doing it, and I was just like, this is genius. I was freaking the fuck out in the movie theater, and I noticed that after when leaving, I was like fucking raging, and I could tell half the people were like, that was garbage. I didn't understand it.
Right.
What the fuck was he doing? What's with the top? I don't even know. He's on a plane. He's not on a plane. What the hell is that garbage? And I was just like, oh, people don't get it. People did not have that light bulb moment in the theater.
It's true.
It's a tough one.
I mean,
it's amazing.
You know, you had a real beautiful mind thing going on there, except, kind of autistic.
Yeah, a little autistic. I was very excited about it. But anyways, but then he comes out with Dark Knight Rising, which I
It's
hated.
one of the worst superhero films ever made.
Yeah, he made the best and one of the worst.
And it's just impossible to watch it and take any of it seriously and think that it's the same people did this. And I mean, Marion Cotillard,
all these great people. But even Matt, who is the police guy? Matthew from Stranger Things.
Oh, Matthew Modine.
Matthew Modine. Like, all his shit was crap. It's like his whole character was crap. It's like Bane, you can't fucking understand him. It's like, what? Like, that was a horrible choice.
Bad. So bad.
And breaking his back and climbing out of the hole, and like, oh, he was the one that climbed
also
out
the
of
other
hole.
thing.
It was Marion. It's like,
now Gotham's just Manhattan?
Yeah.
When the fuck did that happen?
Yeah,
it was an amalgamation of
Pittsburgh,
Pittsburgh, Chicago, and Shanghai, and then you just made it New York, and you shot it during the day.
Yeah.
The whole movie is shot during the day. It's insane.
Yeah, him fighting on the steps in the daylight. It's like,
it looks
it's not the
so
dark
bad.
night.
No,
it's dark afternoon. Anyways, terrible. Oof. I'm sorry. And then I'm just like, all right, he's gonna come back. He's done with Batman.
He did not.
Oh my God,
he
made even a worse movie. I don't know if it's worse.
It's not worse.
Interstellar.
What a turd.
I was waiting to be impressed. I sat in the movie theater like a little kid. I'm just like,
oh no, you saw it
in
in the theater?
Yeah.
Oof.
I'm like, show me your magic trick. You're like, I'm gonna get through this horrible movie, and it's gonna be amazing by the time I'm done. And it wasn't. It was exactly what I thought. Like, you could predict everything that was gonna happen. Oh, he's moving the book. It's a ghost. Oh, no, it's Interstellar. It sucked.
It sucked.
I was angry leaving that thing because it stunk, and people love it.
I mean, he, at least after the Dark Knight Rises, I was confused enough when I left the theater that it didn't cause me anger for at least an hour.
Yeah.
Interstellar was just, thankfully I didn't see it in the theater.
Yeah, I wanted to kick
saw
puppies
it at home and I went,
knock it down old ladies. It was terrible.
You wasted my time, dude.
Comes back with it wasn't a small film, but it was a smaller scope feel of Dunkirk.
Smaller story.
Yeah, smaller story. Thank you. Yeah. Decent. Good. Then Tenet came out, and I was excited. I liked the cast. I'm not a big fan of Denzel Washington's kids. I don't know his name, but Denzel Washington's kid is in it. With new Batman, Robert Pattinson. It was confusing. Like, I understood it, but it didn't take you anywhere, and it was like, it circled back around. The only thing is, I like the story about the art world, and like being an artist and like being intrigued. I really want that whole storyline to be true. That none of the paintings are real, and there's a roving island
Right.
of
You're
like
right.
$1 million paintings that only the rich people know about.
Yeah.
It's like that was the best part to me.
Yeah.
And they're trying to steal it. And we both have not seen Oppenheimer.
I have not seen all of Oppenheimer.
How far did you get in?
I think about a fifth. I watched maybe like 2 hours of it. No, I watched. They were building.
Is it an hour? Like time wise? Like
I don't know. It felt like forever.
yeah, it's tough.
They were like back at his land, his
Right.
his ranch he bought or whatever. It just insisted upon itself. It was so like it didn't need to be that long. It didn't need to be so
Right.
like I get it, it's serious subject matter, but like. Fine.
But like,
hey, what's his name? His acting was fantastic.
yeah, no, I started watching. I watched about 20 minutes of it. I know that doesn't sound, but it's like, my wife has a very busy schedule. And so like if I come upon things that
She's busy carrying you.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. If I come upon things that I think she would also like, she has a very specific taste. I was watching it and like all the first few scenes with Robert Downey Jr. is like all this stuff and how they were telling the story. I'm like, she might like this. I'll wait and we'll watch it together. But the problem is with a over 3 hour movie, we can't find 3 hours.
To
watch a movie. We can't do any.
We watched the first, whatever it was, 90 minutes or 80 minutes over the course of 2 nights. It was just like
Right.
it was too dense.
Right.
And it's like,
It's
look,
like,
if you're gonna make a movie, that is that sort of impenetrable, like from a understand, you need to understand it. You need it's not a movie for dipshits. Like it is like you do have to follow things.
Right.
Which I think filmmakers have the right to do that. Like
Right,
that makes
right,
for
right.
entertaining
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
films. It's like pare some of this other extraneous stuff down.
Like-
I actually thought Robert Downey Jr. stuff was unnecessary after he introduced them.
right. Well, that's the only part I saw.
I thought I didn't think you needed him after that.
Right.
I gotta be honest.
But that is also part of the craft. It's just like you should be allowed to make a 3 hour movie, but it's gonna hinder it's won Academy Awards and people love it. It's like, so apparently not. But there is a craft to doing like we said Fargo. It's a perfect hour and a half, man. It's just like it is trimmed.
The best filmmakers, when they make their best films, do 2 things really well. They cast their films very well, and they edit their films very well. A Ridley Scott film that is not in the canon of Ridley Scott, that I think is one of his best films, for those 2 reasons, is Matchstick Man.
Matchstick Man. It's great.
Yeah.
Boom. It moves. You get involved in the characters. It's like, yeah. No, I agree. All right, we have to pick a Christopher Nolan favorite.
I'm going to say it would have to be either The Dark Knight because of what it did and how well executed it was, or Memento.
Yeah, Memento is game changer.
Yep.
Changed
so much, all of a sudden movies got made, stories were being told differently, nonlinear. It really did that so
and
perfectly.
Intelligent and like,
nonlinear storytelling hadn't been done that well since Pulp Fiction.
Yes. Agreed.
Yeah.
So which one?
For me, I think Memento's the movie.
Right.
I think without Memento, you got nothing else.
I hear it. See, like Memento's like top 3. Dark Knight.
Yep.
And then there's Inception for me, just because I had that glorious
that
moment
experience
in the movie theater. I'm going with Inception, but Dark Knight I'll watch 100 times until I'll
I mean, you can see right here. That's my Christopher Nolan list right there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
that's it.
And in all this being said, David Lynch, I love you. You're probably my favorite director of all time, but I mean, far from perfect.
Yeah. But fucking interesting. It's like if the worst thing you can be is boring. It's like do something different. So thank you, David Lynch.
Thank you.
We have highly recommended.
That's right. Which by now I feel like you should know what this is, but I'll tell you anyway. So sometimes you run out of shit to watch, despite the fact that you pay $3,000 a month to subscribe to things. And the algorithm it's just telling you things that you watched the trailers for or maybe watched, and it doesn't know that you necessarily liked it unless you rate it, which nobody does.
But also now it's like when something you know is good is coming out, you watch it in a weekend because you can't help yourself. You can't, it's like anything else that
inevitably we do. You're not going to have anything to watch.
So we're recommending it's okay to go back and like really good stuff was made years ago. So like we're going to recommend some stuff to like when you have those nights. Check these out.
You couldn't possibly have watched everything, so go back and watch some of these things because there's some good ones. And if you agree with us, let us know. If you don't, if you watched it and you think it stunk, tell us why. Because you know what, we're going based on memory mostly.
Yeah. This episode was about we were kind of like given a base for our film taste in directors, and we talked about directors. We talked about 3 different directors. My pick isn't so much. I had to look up who directed this, but it was more that like a director, like at least do something interesting was like, I think one of my comments. This guy did something interesting, and the movie is called Brick. It's 2005. The director is Rian Johnson. The best thing about it, he wrote it and directed. I have mad respect for the writer-director things. And he wrote and directed Poker Face, which is an excellent series. Yep. He wrote and directed both Knives Out and Glass Onions, which, Knives Out was really good. Glass Onion, pretty good, but it's still like, yeah.
First one, I did enjoy that.
Yeah, but it's just like it's a lot to like have that brain that can do both and like
and he's a really interesting guy. And Brick was his first film out of film school.
Yeah,
I think his parents helped him pay for it. Like he did,
it's amazing. It's an kind of like an old detective Sam Spade, Chinatown. It's got a noir. It's got like
high
a
school
rhythm
noir.
to it.
Yeah,
but it's all based in high school.
Yeah.
So like all these like shady characters and like you have to like learn the lingo of the town.
Yeah.
Like,
which was the really cool part that like high school kids and adults playing high school kids largely, but like they were like doing that rhythm of dialogue, but with like current dialogue. Yeah. It was really, really clever. Even really that was done super well.
And it's like, and it dissects the cliques of high school. It's like the nerds, the jocks, the burnouts, the socialites, the drama kids,
and a good mystery.
Oh, it was excellent mystery.
Really well written,
like mystery. With little clues, and that you were taking on as the movie went on. One of the best interactions, which was very like detective noir, was the main character is Joseph Gordon-Levitt. And he's trying to find how his ex-girlfriend was murdered.
Right. That's the opening of the movie.
Yeah.
I didn't go back.
And like his whole idea is to shake up the whole infrastructure of high school and see what falls out. And so it's really, it's gritty.
Yeah.
But he has a relationship with his principal. And he knows that like he's really smart and he's a good kid. But like, the principal is just trying to keep peace and trying to get out alive. Yeah. But he's like a politician or the cop and all these things where he just wants everyone just to play nice. And you could tell like he's not really respected.
Right.
And it comes across as a student and principal dynamic that you've never seen before. It's very cool. Mm-hmm. And it's basically like, bribery, like all these things, just
drugs, bribery, all these things. And really, I think in hindsight, one of the really ballsy things Rian Johnson did was after the opening scene where you know who the victim is, you know everything. He put an art card up that says 2 days earlier.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's sort of like there's a real urgency to everything on top of it, which was such a weird choice that you then squish everything into a real and it's from a filmmaking standpoint. And I thought that was really ballsy for somebody making their first film. And there's a bunch of one-ers. There's a bunch of long continuous shots.
Oh yeah.
That are
the style
large unbroken shots without a one-er is a long take without any edits. And there's several of them in there. I think there were supposed to be more, but they didn't work for whatever reason and locations and stuff. But really ballsy filmmaking and fun and
Joseph
good to watch.
Gordon-Levitt,
It's great.
Played great. Lucas Haas, which the little kid from Witness, plays the Pin.
The Pin,
and they all have names.
Yeah.
The Pin. The girl, I did not see what else she's done, but she was really captivating for a high school kid in this setting. Her name is Nora Zetner.
No idea.
I don't know, but had the face, had the style, had the thing.
She's great.
Femme fatale.
Yep.
But
absolutely.
like a high school. But then the best is this dude named Noah Feis, I guess it's Feis.
Okay.
Plays Tug. Tugger, but he goes by Tug, and he's the muscle.
Yep.
And he's a complex character. And this kid, because you don't know who, he's not a known actor, just kills it.
Yeah.
He's if you went to high school and you knew that kid that could knock anyone's head off.
Yep.
He's the kid.
Yeah.
And you just steer clear of Tug.
That's a great. That's a good one. Yeah, Ryan Johnson. That's a real good choice.
It's different. It's interesting, and that's going back to what I like in directors is take some chances, do something interesting, and I'm behind it. So check out Brick. Really good.
I have 30 things here, but I think I narrowed it down. I'm sorry. Honorable mention to David Slade, who directed Hard Candy. Which is a great movie. You should watch that. And I'll probably use that as another recommendation at some point.
Yeah.
And he directed the Black Mirror episode, which was Bandersnatch, which was really interesting director. But for this, I'm going to say Kar-wai, Asian director who did a movie called, I think it was in 2000, called In the Mood for Love, which is a beautiful movie. About two couples that move into a apartment building, and two of them sort of connect with each other and their decisions on whether they're going to have an affair and their relationship, and you watch it grow. And Kar-wai just does amazing things with color and with reflections, and it's stuff that gets me. I don't get there's 2000. It looks super contemporary to me now, even though it was shot on film 25 years ago. I think it's beautiful, and I think the story's great. The characters are awesome, and I think that's a really outstanding piece. And I'm going to take a note from you, and I'm going to recommend a TV series.
All right, yeah.
Now, it's also going to have a caveat. So I'm going to recommend that you watch Twin Peaks. Because David Lynch created and directed quite a bit of Twin Peaks, and it's an amazing world full of amazing characters.
Amazing.
So you're going to want to watch the original first season, and then you're going to want to watch the first half of the second season, up until when they solve the main crime, which is who killed Laura Palmer. So once you get to that, you can stop watching the second season. Anything after that's going to infuriate you and make you want to watch the original Dune. But then go and watch Showtime's 2016 or 17 series, Twin Peaks: The Return, which was 16 episodes, I think. David Lynch wrote and directed all of them. He wrote them all with Mark Frost, who was the original co-writer, and it's great. It is super satisfying, and it was a joy to watch, and it has a lot of the characters from the original and new characters, and just an amazing amount of cameos, and just, I mean, it's like a mind-blowing number of cameos. Everyone from
talk about doing something interesting,
and I mean, if nothing else, he did something really interesting. I mean, there's several episodes that you'll go, I'm not sure what I just watched. It might have been the greatest episode of television or the worst, I can't tell. There's a musical guest every week, which was weird.
Yeah,
and it worked perfectly.
That now.
And I really do recommend it. I think it's especially the Twin Peaks: The Return. I think it's such a great was a great redemption for David Lynch for the Twin Peaks series, because the series had fallen off. The movie Fire Walk with Me was not super well received, even though that was a prequel. I liked it too, but there's a lot of things in it that people would say that's weird for weird's sake, and David Lynch and whatever. It's probably why people say things are Lynchian, which I mean, I can't recommend it more. He's one of my favorites, and you gotta take chances.
Did you ever see the Ryan Gosling movie that he did? And it was an ode to David Lynch. And it was like, if you didn't know that Ryan Gosling did it, you would think David Lynch did it.
No.
Oh, yeah. Me and names and titles and words, but it's like, it's a thing.
That he acted in? He acted in, or he directed it?
Both.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
I do love Ryan Gosling.
Check that out.
I'm going to look that up. Do you have a series this week?
Yeah, I had a series I'll do real quick. Is Mindhunter. David Fincher. Directed the first 7 episodes. But it's, if you love like serial killers like Seven, and it was the beginning of profiling serial killers.
It was based on the real FBI guy, right?
Yeah.
So I thought.
And I have to give shout outs to Anna Toru. She's an actress that's in it. I didn't know she was in it, and I love her. She was in Fringe, which is another series I highly recommend, and she was awesome. I really dig her. And then this dude, Cameron Britton, he plays an imprisoned serial killer that they keep going to kind of get information from, and he's the weirdest, creepiest dude, but you just have to watch him. Yeah, it's good.
Also, the really good thing they did with that was they cast a lot of people that you couldn't. They're not megastars, so you recognize them, but you couldn't play something. And they like fell into this world and these characters, and it was really super well done. Yeah.
And the casting was good, and like it's like the nerdy science guy and the tough cop, but they're buddies, so it's a buddy show, and then it's well done.
And sadly, I did hear that David Fincher said there will not be a 3rd season. So boom, you get 2 seasons of it.
Yeah.
So Mindhunter, Twin Peaks, 1 half the 2nd season and the 3rd season. In the Mood for Love, and what was the
Brick.
And Brick, which again, we're heavy noir guys, I think.
Yeah.
But man, it is so good. It is high school noir.
Yeah.
And really fantastic, and you get to see a director at the beginning of his career do something that's really, really, really ambitious and great.
Yeah.
Awesome. So with that, go watch that stuff. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe. Tell a friend. Tell anyone. Really. Literally. Yeah. We're recommending things to you. Recommend us to someone else. Tell your barber. Tell your mailman. Tell your bartender.
Yeah. Tell your mom.
Tell your mom. But tell her. Be like, they got potty mouths.
All right.
Jive
and Honey.
We will see you next time. See you.